everybody. I'm Kim Manis, and I'm the Director of Product for Microsoft Fabric. And I'm going to give you a whirlwind tour to answer the question, what is Microsoft Fabric? What is it all about? And when I start talking about Microsoft Fabric, I always like to start with the problem we're trying to solve. Analytics are complicated. There's so many different products involved, and you look at some of these architecture diagrams and you see lots of lines and boxes, and each of these lines and boxes represents ETL from one product to the other, managing subscriptions in each product, managing users in each product, managing security over and over and over again, all of these pieces done individually. And one of the chief data officers we talked to, he said, I want to be the chief data officer. I don't want to be the chief integration officer. He felt that he and his team were spending all of their time integrating these products and not actually getting to the work of the data and the analytics. Now, the good part here is analytics have a pretty predictable pattern, right? You get some data in using data integration tools, often landed in a data lake. You do some data engineering to structure the data, to clean it up. You land it in a data warehouse where you can serve it to, larger parts of the business. Maybe you have some real-time analytics data coming in. Maybe you have some data science projects to augment the data, and then you serve it to the business using a business intelligence tool. And of course, across all of that, you need governance and administration to make sure you know what's going on and that everything's compliant and secure. Now, the good part here is Microsoft has all these parts. We have all these components, but it's just still too hard. There's a lot of different products, and we expected our customers to go and string these things together and build their own solutions, integrating these products through all these different business models and pricing models and learning curves and user experiences. And that's where Microsoft Fabric comes in, the data platform for the era of AI. And so I'm going to give you a whirlwind tour of what Microsoft Fabric is all about, and then you can deep dive into any of these in later sessions today. So first, it's a complete analytics platform. We give you all the tools you need to build an analytics project. And not only that, we've built this on a unified SaaS platform, which means that we make it as quick as possible for you to get going building that project, and as easy as possible for you to connect these tools together so that it's really easy to collaborate for throughout every part of your analytics project. But it's more than that. It's not just a user experience. The infrastructure, the actual where the data is stored, is all built on a central lake-centric and open architecture. So that means no matter which tool you're using, which engine you're using, what language you want to write your code in, you can leverage the same data in the same open formats. So you don't have to move data around, you don't have to copy data around, you don't have to manage security multiple times, and we'll talk a bit more about this. And of course, empowering every business user. If a tree falls in a forest, did it make a sound? If you do all this work to build these data warehouses and do all these data science projects and no one consumes the data and no one makes decisions off of it, did it even matter in the first place? So making sure that that data is accessible to every business user when they make decisions is critical. And of course, AI powered, because we need to make it easier than ever for everyone to upskill and get their analytics projects done as quickly as possible and find the best insights they can. And we're doing a ton here with Azure OpenAI and Copilots. And so I'll show you a quick tour of that as well. And so that's really Microsoft Fabric in a nutshell. And so I want to jump into each of these pillars just to give you a taste of what each of them are all about. And again, this is a 10-minute whirlwind tour, so I won't go into anything in too much detail, but it'll just give you a taste of what to go ask more questions on, learn more about as you dig deeper into Microsoft Fabric. And the first is our complete analytics platform. And I always like to start with a metaphor when I talk about this, right? Think about Microsoft Office. Office is a suite of productivity tools, Word, PowerPoint, Excel, with each of those tools optimized for a job to be done, whether it's writing an email or building a spreadsheet. And while each of those are optimized for their particular task, they share a bunch of common elements, right? They share a user experience, how you spell check, how you copy and paste, how you format text. But they also share an underlying foundation between all these applications, how you save files, how you collaborate, how you govern the entire platform. So really think about Microsoft Fabric as a suite of analytics tools, whether it's data integration, data warehousing, business intelligence, all of these share these common elements, both at the user experience and at the foundational level. And so what you end up getting is a single place for you to do all this stuff like onboarding, navigation, workspaces, all this stuff that isn't necessarily the work of the data itself, but rather how you manage the software and how you manage collaboration between the people using the software. And allowing data teams to do that once means they can spend the time on the actual data and analytics, right? And so this single SaaS foundation allows you to set up a project once and collaborate across, jumping between these tools really easily. And one of the key principles to this SaaS foundation is what we call 5 by 5. This is an internal mantra that stands for 5 seconds to sign up, 5 minutes to wow. How quickly can we get you in the product and how quickly can we make you successful? But it's not only that. It's also success by default as you really get going on this project. Minimal knobs and dials to get performance right. Automatically optimizing as you use it and as we learn your usage patterns. Automatically integrating between the workloads so you don't have to duplicate effort from one step to the other. And centralized administration. So instead of bothering every data practitioner with, networking features and policies, compliance features, allow a tenant administrator to set that up once centrally, and then it just applies to all the artifacts across the system. Same for security management. Doing that once allows you to make sure that the security is set and applied as expected, but then all the data practitioners need not worry about that. Same with compliance. And so that's really what we mean by SaaS, right? It just works. And then you get these persona optimized experiences. So whether you're a data engineer or a business intelligence user, you get an experience that's optimized for you. But because the user experiences are really familiar and shared, it's easy to learn new tools. It's easy to adopt the new tools and jump from one tool to the other. And because those foundational elements are shared, because the data is all stored centrally, security is all managed centrally, compliance is all managed centrally, it's really easy for data teams to collaborate across. They can all work in one single shared workspace, but use their tool of choice. Okay, so that was the complete analytics platform. And now I want to dive into our lake-centric and open architecture. And the heart of this is OneLake. And OneLake is the OneDrive for data. Back to my metaphor of Office, think about what file sharing was like before OneDrive came along. You had FTP servers and cryptic URLs, and it was a very manual process. And then OneDrive came along, and now you type somebody's name into a Word document and you're co-authoring. And the two of you don't need to know the compliance rules of that document, where it's stored, how it's governed. You can just get to work. So OneLake is that for Microsoft Fabric. It's a single SaaS data lake for the entire organization. And the powerful thing about this is all of the engines are adopting a single open format with all the data stored in OneLake. So you might have a project using Synapse Data Engineering, using Spark or pipelines, where you land the data into OneLake, maybe the Customer 360 data. You might be writing SQL code, building a data warehouse and landing the finance data. That also lands in OneLake. Maybe some real-time data is coming in with KQL databases. Even data coming through Power BI's analysis services engine all lands in OneLake. And it all lands in a single open format of Delta Parquet. So once this data is stored in OneLake, it's accessible by any other engine because it's in the same open format. So regardless of how the data got in, you can leverage it using your tool of choice. Back to my metaphor of Office again. Do you want to tell a story in PowerPoint? Do you want to tell a story in Word? Do you want to write SQL code? Do you want to write Spark code? Do you want to use Power BI? It's really user choice now because all that data is accessible to any of these engines and secured centrally. And because One Security is built at the OneLake layer, now it means users can only access what they're supposed to access. And then we're going to take it to the next level because we know that businesses have data already in data lakes not stored in one lake. And so what we will allow customers to do is use shortcuts to point to data wherever it's stored without moving the data. So of course, within one lake, you can point to data throughout other parts of one lake. So maybe, somebody brought in the finance data using a data warehouse and I want to explore it using Power BI. I can go ahead and do that, all because that data is stored in one lake in that single open format. But we're going to take it a step further, because your data might be stored in ADLS Gen 2 in Azure. It might be stored in Amazon or Google. And regardless of where the data is stored, you can use shortcuts to point to the data wherever it is without any data movement. This allows OneLake to be the first multi-cloud data lake. And with support for industry standard APIs, OneLake can be accessed by anything, not only our tools, any tool that can read data lakes. So this is really powerful for getting your data all in one place and making it accessible to all your users that need to access it and all the engines, regardless of what kind of code you write or how you want to explore this data. And what you end up getting in this model is a data mesh, a true data mesh, because each part of the organization can manage the data as their own product. They can store the data in the cloud they want. They can have the governance and compliance rules, the retention rules they want. They can apply policy as needed. But from a data practitioner standpoint, it's really easy to pull the data from wherever it is, work across all of this, mash it up, and answer questions. And we even have the concept of domains in the product. So you can mark data in OneLake with a particular domain, and then it really allows anybody in the product to go discover the data based on that domain. And going forward, we'll support things like allowing you to govern and administer certain domains differently. So maybe the finance data needs to be more locked down and you want to block export to Excel, but the marketing data, you're okay opening that up a little bit more. So there's a lot more coming in the data mesh space, and we're really excited about this one. Now I just want to touch quickly on empowering every business user with Power BI and with Microsoft Office and Microsoft 365. Because again, if users aren't using the data to make decisions, it's not getting the full value that it can. And so I wanted to highlight a couple things. The first is the OneLake Data Hub that's available in Power BI, in Teams, in Excel, in Outlook, everywhere. And what this allows is for easy data discovery across the artifacts built in Fabric. And with any of these items, you can drill in and you can see what reports were built off of that data set. When was it last refreshed? Is it certified or endorsed? What's the sensitivity label? You can go explore the lineage. You can visualize the data either in Power BI or in Excel right then and there. You can explore this in Excel in a full-fledged pivot table. So now users can use the right tool for the job. Excel lovers can go and connect directly to data in OneLake, explore the data, and it stays connected, refreshed, secured. All the security labels are applied. So if something is marked as confidential in OneLake, it flows all the way through to the business user consuming it in Excel. Another announcement we made at Microsoft Build is Data Activator. This is a really powerful tool that's currently in private preview, about to come into public preview. And what it does is it allows you to connect your systems of intelligence, like OneLake, Power BI, Data Warehouse, all your data tools, to your systems of action, like Office or the Power Platform or any custom tools you might have. And we do this through a no-code user experience that allows you to build triggers based on rules, and then in real time processes that data as it comes in and sends those triggers out. So this is something you should definitely check out. We're really excited about Data Activator. All right, and then of course, we have to talk about AI. And I'm really excited about co-pilots in Microsoft Fabric. And I just wanted to take a minute to show you a quick sizzle reel of what's coming, just a taste of the co-pilots that are going to be available in Microsoft Fabric.
Next generation AI in Microsoft Fabric empowers you to unlock the full potential of your data. With Copilot integrated into every data experience, Microsoft Fabric lets you use natural language to bring your data to life. From integrating data to writing code, to finding insights and creating reports, new transformative AI experiences work alongside you every step of the way, so you can stay focused on getting value from your data. Copilot helps turn your words into data flows and data pipelines, so you can intelligently integrate data from anywhere. When writing code, Copilot automatically suggests code and entire functions in real time. And Copilot can guide you to create machine learning models to unlock insights in your data. Just by chatting with Copilot, you can visually explore your data to create stunning reports, discover insights, and summarize your data into easy-to-understand text narratives for sharing. With Copilot, you can turn insight into action with triggers that monitor your data and notify users. You can even create your own custom natural language experiences that combine Azure OpenAI models and your organization's data, and easily publish your creations as plugins. And with your data in Fabric, Copilot provides insights and answers everywhere work gets done. Most importantly, Microsoft Cloud runs on trust, which means your data always remains your data. Bring your data into the era of AI with Microsoft Fabric. Next.
All right, so that was the world tour of Microsoft Fabric. There was a lot in a very short amount of time, but what about next steps? So first of all, we have a lot available in public preview right now that you can go try today. So please do go try it out, and I'll add some links to show you how. First of all, go review the launch announcements. There were a ton of announcements, and I only covered a sliver, so you can check them out at aka.ms/fabric. And you can try Microsoft Fabric today. We have built-in free trials that allow you to spin up a Fabric capacity and give it a try, no credit card needed, immediately. And then, of course, please go join the Fabric communities. We have lots of like-minded folks asking questions, giving us feedback, voting up ideas in the ideas forum, joining user groups in person and remote. So definitely go and engage in the community. We're really looking forward to talking to you. So that's Microsoft Fabric. Really excited to see what you all do with this platform and looking forward to hearing your feedback. Thanks a lot.